What's good, Bully World? This is Air Post Bully Talk with Air Pitts. Got my man Ty Bull and China Shop in the house. And we're gonna talk about why we out here in Cali this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump in right into it. How did it all come about as far as getting prepared for the collaboration between the lounge and the Bully Market?
You want me to
go? I'll go first since I kind of reached out to Kev. Took a while to crack the shell, to crack into the radius of Kev, you know, and get him to kind of respond. It's hard to get a hold of, but once we got to talking about doing some things, I was interested initially in using one of his studs, and then we got talking more and started talking about some other different things, which the puppies you just saw were from a collaboration that we did where I picked up a lounge female and bred her to one of our studs. So
when does it get to a point with you where you decide that you need to collaborate to go outside your yard? Because I noticed that you did that with Marco. You did that with, I think, El Toro. You got some of that blood also? Did you ever get? No, never.
He bred the Bistro.
Okay, he bred the Bistro. Okay. Why this time around that you really wanted to incorporate some of the lounge blood into your program?
Well, you know, part of why I wanted to bring in some new genetics was to diversify our gene pool a little bit here as we push forward, because I want to be able to mix it up, tighten up on things, but not have it already too tight. So when I go tighter, you know, I'm trying to have a nice base to work with. So when I do that, I'll actually have some, not be already in a box. But when I look at the lounge, you look at features like that deep chest drop, big bone, nice head pieces, thick rears, girthy bodies, wide rib cage. You know, a lot of these dogs, some of these elite dogs that we've seen over the years, Crunk Juice, and it just goes down the line from generation to generation, thick, wide, girthy bodies. And for us, just wanting to bring in some new blood, but at the same time, some stuff we thought would go good with our stuff, both pedigree-wise, and then also the traits that they were bringing complementary to what we brought to the table too.
Now, what finally made you pull the trigger and say, yes, I'll go ahead and do that collaboration?
You know what, Rob reached out to me. It probably had to be maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago was the first time.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing about, where he reached out to me, I didn't answer it first. I go on the internet every now and then, and I saw homie blood. And I said, who the fuck is a homie? I kept seeing homie blood. So I asked some of my guys, and they explained to me who homie was, the homie blood. I said, that's Rob Lee, and explained it, the Bully Market, blah, blah, blah. So I kept seeing it, you know, a few times. And of course, Bistro was making his run. The bus made his run. I don't know if the bus had even made the run yet, but it was, I think the bus was making the run.
We were just doing
it. Yeah, it was going on right then.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I said, okay, so I went on and called Rob back after a while, and we spoke about it, and he told me what he was trying to do. You know, I picked his head a little. We had a conversation. So I said, I'll get back with you, you know. So a few more months, I started doing my homework on him. I called some of the OGs. I called, who did I call? I think I called Sylvia Gomez, Rachel Ogletree, a few of the ones I knew, you know, which I respect their word. And they say, yeah. They say Rob is cool. They say he a straight stoner, a marketing genius, and the boy's a dog, man. He love his dogs. He's passionate. He's into it. He's doing his thing, you know. So I asked a few people. He checked all out, and like I told you, Ty, we did that podcast, you know, what, 6, 7 months ago, whenever it was. And I told you, I said I'm working on my rears. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel as though I have.
That was exclusive Bull in the China Shop content right there, actually.
Right. Yeah.
At the time, you didn't really talk to anybody but Rob about it.
Yeah, we was already working on it, and I hadn't even spilled the beans to anybody. Just my crew knew, and you know. So I said, boom, everything is coming together. I like his style, and so last October, matter of fact, it was exactly 1 year ago today. I came out here. I was out here for a wedding for my OG Rodney from New Trojans, and Rob picked me up from LAX. we hung out a little, got to know each other, bonded a little, and he ended up bringing me out here. And I saw the yard. I liked everything I saw. And so we didn't just decide to do one breeding. We got like 4 or 5 parts to this thing right here. It's going to be a straight collaboration. And we were, a lot of stuff we talking about was the state that the bully world is in right now, you know. And we feel like this collaboration right here could be really big in a positive direction for the bully world. Yeah.
Just speaking on the bully world itself on a whole, how do you feel about the state of the bullies right now?
I think it's great. The bully world for me is fantastic, you know, but this is my bully world right here. You're in it. And that other stuff, I don't really, that's not my bully world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was going to ask you that, how do you stay out the drama that's always involved with the bully world?
Just stay focused on what I got to do, because I got so many goals and aspirations of things that I want to achieve inside, outside the dogs. Arguing on the internet is not going to get me any closer, literally. I only got so much time here on this earth, and it's up to me to use it all wisely. So, you know, back in 2012, I was getting caught up as I was campaigning Bistro in the senseless BS on the internet, going and defending my dog, this and that, but it came to a time when I just realized that, you know what, Kobe Bryant doesn't go on the internet and defend. Kobe Bryant just knows he's Kobe Bryant, and he gets out there and he gets his job done. So we just went to work with Bistro. All that time that was spent on, you know, on the internet, and I just get out here and do what I got to do. You know, whether it's with my family or with my dogs doing work, you know what I mean? Use my time wisely.
That particular year, what you're talking about with Bistro, campaigning Bistro, you were going head to head with Big Papa at the time. Traveling both coasts, down south. How big of a toll did that take on you mentally and physically to get your boy out there like that, to get that #1 spot?
It took more of a toll financially. Mentally and physically, it's definitely difficult to run a campaign week after week for a whole year, let alone, you know, 4 years the way we ran Bistro and Bus combined. It's tough to just have them looking good and ready to show, let alone win that many times in a row. But that particular trip I did sleep a lot in the car, lots of long drives and stuff like that, so shoulder pain, different things like that were a factor. I got a good team. I've always had a good team with young nubs.
Right here we have the 1 and 2 ranked, #1 and 2 ranked American Bullies today. Just a quick glimpse into the show this afternoon, going for Grand Champion. Want to talk about it?
Man, it's gonna be tough. You know, this is my first time seeing Bistro in person. I mean, beautiful animal. You know, bully, pocket. You know, substance, correct. Awesome dog. But like I tell everybody, it's not just 1 and 2. It's a lot of nice champions, grand champions, even your regular class dogs out here. It's gonna be a good show. Gonna be a lot of competition.
A lot of well put together dogs for sure.
I think Bistro's won, what, 14 straight now?
13.
13 in 9 different states?
9 different states, yeah.
Why travel so much?
Just trying to keep them #1 show everyone the dog. And Cali doesn't have as many shows as you guys have out here.
Wow.
We don't have shows for 3 weeks out there, so that's why we came out here.
I'm looking forward to the showdown today. Thank you all.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
My brother and my wife, so good supporting cast makes it a lot easier when I was building that campaign and could send my brother off and I could sit here and take care of the dogs and my wife could do what needed to be done with the kids. You know, that's how we were able to, if you're going to campaign a dog like that, a lot of people miss out on breedings, which we did because so much was vested into the campaign, but we managed to, as I added on like throwing show, judging show, campaigning dog, breeding dog, it was towards the end, by the very end, it was very taxing to where now that's why I pulled back. I was just like, man, too much. I'm spread too thin. I need to see where I bring the most value and double down and put all my energies there.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, could you ever see yourself doing that again? Campaigning a dog that you would think can make it that far and make a big run. Would you ever do that again?
The only, me personally, you know, having 3 kids, I'm limited. But would I invest in it? Absolutely. I got breedings right now that should produce exactly that. I got dogs coming up right now that would be, you know, formidable to do something like that. My thing now is, you know, we've always had a good feature dog, but I really take pride in the overall program and the family of dogs that we got. So if I come back out, I want to do it a little bit differently this time, and I want to bring out more dogs than just the one, you know, get the whole lineup out there.
Because one of the things where you really got into the judging aspects, once you got into that and really started getting out overseas, traveling, did you find at that point in time that you had more of a hunger for breeding, because you do less shows now as far as judging, right?
Well, it definitely started cutting in. You know, things would happen and I'd be gone, and it's just more stress to where I started to realize what was my priorities, you know, and where I brought the most impact to the bully world. Robert Lee doesn't bring the most impact to the bully world traveling around being a judge, in my opinion. You know, for where we're at and for the breeding stock that I have available and to breed, I bring the most value as a breeder. You know, not a judge, not a radio guy, not a show host even right now, you know. Once I get a little more onto the next phase of what we're doing, then, you know, the throwing the shows, getting back into the judge, you know what I'm saying?
Because one of the things that you do is really thinking outside the box, is where you're combining different activities along with the bully shows. I know you were at one point at playing one with the, you know, with the Cannabis Cup car show / bully show.
Yeah.
Why didn't, in your opinion, why it didn't pan out?
Well, so that's why I just said, you know, for me, throwing shows right now is not where I bring the most value. Once I get more solidified in that realm, then I will be able to. But for that particular show, why it didn't manifest itself was I was really heavily depending on him to do his part, the guy that I partnered up with, and then I was to do my part, which was bring the dog community. He was going to set up the concert. We had the venue. He had, you know, him and his partners had the venue and the cannabis and all that. And then the initial venue, there was a problem. They had a big cannabis event there in LA, a bunch of complaints. So before we got to have our event, there was issues there at the venue, which then we were going to have to move it into the IE, and it could have been 100 plus. I just didn't want to risk dogs, you know what I mean? Dogs' lives being in the high desert, summertime. So I canceled it. I postponed it, and you know, I'm not going to talk bad about the guy, but I haven't heard nothing from him. You know what I mean? So if that's going to happen, it's going to be when I have the ability to take all those matters into my hands, be fully responsible, and not at the whim of somebody else who I'm relying on so much. You know what I mean? Because he's gave me a good layout. He did do some good shows at that venue before that stuff happened, but it's still kind of, you know, new, these types of events. So at any time, local municipalities can decide they want to not let it happen. State is wide open, the state, but the state also gives each county the right to decide what they want to allow.
Now, one of the things I asked Kev the other night was what keeps them going with the dogs. Have you ever got to a point where you can see yourself really not doing it? Did that ever get to a point with you, seeing yourself not doing dogs at all?
No. I hit one hard patch where didn't get a lot of females pregnant 1 year. Like, it was raising a lot of dogs and not producing. And then when we finally did produce, we did a C-section on this bitch, and the puppies came out. We were whelping them for about the first 30 minutes to an hour. Mom, first time mom, and she was warming up to them, seemingly doing well. Went into the house to go grab something real quick, and then came back out, and the puppies were demolished, like chewed up, heads bitten off, eaten, just dead, all of them. And at that point, it was like, damn, you know, a big blow, to the point where, you know, I was getting pretty deep into not making anything and just spending almost over a year before even having a litter. And I was moved out, not in this place. I was kind of up north, which I wasn't used to being up there. I had just moved there. So it was just not a lot of action for me. And at that point, I was like, man, I thought, am I going to be able to do this? Oh, just, you know, at one point I was like, man, am I gonna still be able to do this? And I was like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. And eventually, man, you know, my luck turned around. But really, it's like those people that have bad luck, upon further inspection, usually it's something that you fell short in doing and you screwed up. And once you start taking accountability for your screw ups, all of a sudden you don't have as much bad luck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You start really showing up, you don't have as much bad luck then.
Now, to get into what you all have going on with the lounge right now, you have a litter that's on the ground now. The next phase in the process is what?
We got a couple more breeds that we're gonna do. I sent a bitch to him, and now I want to give a shout out to Susie and Tony right quick. When Rob asked me, he wanted me to send him a girl. That's how we decided to do it. I'm gonna send him a girl. We gonna do some breeds. I'm gonna do some breeds with her. He gonna do some breeds with her. We gonna just collab, right? I said, let me check my trap and see what I got. I got a Mexico chapter. The lounge chapter in Mexico is Tony and Susie out in Mexico, and so they stood up to the plate and said, look, we got something. So they had another female. The first female we had was a lounge female that was
Cruella.
Yeah, Cruella.
Right.
Cruella
yeah. DeVille.
She went to some Heartbreaker blood, and you know that lock and load and all that stuff is back there. So he's like, that'll be a good way to bring that together. You know what I mean? And Cruella couldn't fly. She was having panic attacks. It just wasn't gonna happen. So we moved on to Nina, the bitch we ended up sending him. It's a double bred crunk bitch, a crunk son to a crunk daughter with like a slight kingdom outcross. And they stepped up, and I want to give them a shout out for stepping up to the plate and making that. Matter of fact, Susie had to jump on the plane, fly Nina to, where did she fly to? L.A.?
Yeah.
Came in LAX, dropped Nina off to Rob, and then jumped on the plane and went back to Mexico. She had to ride with him, you know, with her. So, yeah. So
with the combinations of the two different bloods, what's the ideal look you're looking for you and for you?
Go ahead.
You know, I think that considering how they're the way his dog's phenotype and genotype line up with ours, we should not get too much of a variation. I'm hoping to add more mass onto our frames, and then when I look at his stock, I hope that our rears and the overall structure, you know, I'm looking to bully it up with the lounge stuff, just that overall bull bone chest drop.
And I'm looking for the structure, like you said, that rear end. He's got that angulation and some of them angles I need. So he needs something, I need something. We gonna make it together.
And you know, if you really dig into those pedigrees of how the programs are built, they'll see, you know, how this is gonna work. And you you know, what it should bring to
Yeah,
the table.
the real breeders already know what it's gonna do. They already like, oh shit. Now that they hearing this, they know. If they know that blood, both bloods, they already know what it's gonna do. Yeah.
And then with the color too.
The color.
The color factor is just on top of it with
yeah.
His champagne, and then our tries a lot. They haven't. Have you got any tries yet off the line?
We got one try.
Trinity.
We got one try named Trinity, and we need some more.
So, you know,
just because I ain't never had one, I said, hell, get on, try.
You get photo Bob.
Right.
Demi, over here. It's my daughter. She helps with the puppies. And
she's a dog girl.
Yeah.
Hey man, but I really appreciate your time today. About to get out of here.
We appreciate you flying
flight
out here, man, to come out and chill with me for the weekend and to enjoy this, because this was big for me and Rob. He was hitting me every day, excited as hell about these puppies, and he was giving me daily updates, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's been perfect business with this guy. We did the collab, and I didn't have to call him to see what was going on. He always right in front of me, like, Kev, this is what we got. This happened or that happened. Even if he didn't have nothing to say, he would call and just check in. And it's been like stress-free, and this is how business is supposed to be. Real dog man shit.
I mean, I really appreciate you all bringing me
Yeah.
out, man. I really
you and
enjoyed
Ty. Ty came on out and did his thing, and y'all been working with me all weekend. So we've been sitting back partying, working and partying, and making it fun to work.
I'm not done. This motherfucker's leaving early.
Yeah, so you still got time about to pick y'all brains, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Willie Talk with Zed Pitts, and we out.
Appreciate you.
Have a safe flight home, my brother.
One more time, man. Go.
Oh. Get it, get it.
Go, 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 go. Nice.
It ain't too many bully females that can do this shit right here. We getting ready for this show coming up in Wisconsin, June 2nd, June 1st. So that's a big porch, baby. Midwest Monstas porch, the lounge. Getting ready for this show, baby. And that's her pups. That's some of her pups, her 6-month-old pups. And they ready too. That's the Pink Nation. The Pink Nation will be unveiled. The new generation of the Pink Nation will be unveiled at the Wisconsin show on June 1st. Come check it out. Come on, boy. Work it, baby. We got driving our bullies, baby. We keep it crunking. Oh, yeah.
Get it, Pimp. Get it, boy. Get it, Pimp Juice. Get that ball, boy. Come on, Pimp. Work that ball, boy. Work that ball. Work it, Pimp. Work that ball.
Crunk Juice. Where he at, Crunk Juice? Good boy, Crunk Juice. Crunk Juice. Good boy.